Let's go over the future of the Star Wars franchise when it comes to Star Wars Episode 9, when it comes to J.J. Abrams and George Lucas. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, you guys may have heard that there was a lot of talk about George Lucas actually working on Star Wars Episode 9 not too long ago. A couple of months ago, it was a huge story. A lot of people were talking about it, that apparently George Lucas would be lending his guidance over to J.J. Abrams for Star Wars Episode 9. Now, recently we've been hearing a little bit more about George Lucas and his involvement in the final film of the Skywalker saga, that it would only mainly be him offering guidance to J.J. Abrams. However, there is a big debate on George being involved in Episode 9. As much as I believe it's a great thing if he is actually involved in Star Wars Episode 9, a lot of people are saying that this could very well be a move by Disney and Lucasfilm in order to gain the fans' trust, in order to have them come into the theaters. Now, that's a huge question for sure. Is it a genuine move if George Lucas really is involved in Star Wars Episode 9? It's a huge discussion right now. A lot of people are talking about it, have been talking about it, and to me, when I look at all of this, it would be a great message by Disney to the fans that the creator himself will lend a hand in the film. I think personally it would tell the fans that Disney is of course now listening to the fans and giving them what they want. Whether George Lucas would offer advice to J.J. Abrams or actually direct the scene, whatever it would be, any kind of help that he can actually offer for the movie is always a great thing. We know that he actually had a minor role in Solo: A Star Wars Story. He offered some guidance to Ron Howard for a specific scene in the Han Solo film. It wasn't really anything major, but it was him lending a little hand in that film. But going into Episode 9, alright, I gotta say, I mean, it's only right to do this because the final Skywalker, movie, I think that George deserves it. Since this is the final film of the Skywalker saga, I really do believe that George Lucas deserves a little role in Star Wars Episode 9. To me, honestly, fans would feel more secure knowing that George offered guidance for J.J. Abrams, and it would allow us to think and believe that this movie's going in the right direction. Now, one would say that George Lucas, even if he was involved in Episode 9, whether he actually already did lend his, help to J.J., or if he hasn't done it yet, not quite sure. But if he does end up doing this in Episode 9, I think, it might not be too major. It's probably going to be a minor thing, maybe a scene or two here and there for Kylo Ren and Rey, or maybe something to do with Luke Skywalker. We do know that apparently there have been rewrites for the movie involving characters Chewbacca, Rey, Kylo Ren, and Luke Skywalker. So we have heard about these adjustments being made for the film these past couple of weeks or so, and we can tell that they're trying to really be extra careful with this product, right? This Star Wars franchise. It's a huge franchise that a lot of people cherish and love, and really want to just see it become a more healthy franchise going forward after Episode 9, going into the 2020s. So, with Star Wars as a whole, I think that George Lucas and his involvement in Episode 9 is just a must. The talk that we heard about it a couple of months ago, and more recently about him lending guidance over to JJ, I think that this all has to do with Disney realizing that maybe that they should bring in George for a scene or two that is going to be very important and crucial to the overall plot of the movie. So, if you look at it, as a whole, Star Wars as a whole, alright, it's a very important franchise to a lot of fans out there. It's a very beloved franchise. A lot of people just cherish it for decades upon decades, and I think that's what's so great about Star Wars, is not only that, but it's also generational. And looking at George, he believes in that whole entire aspect of Star Wars, and that you just have to treat it right. You guys may have heard of the Star Wars producer that passed away not too long ago. Very sad news. Even George Lucas actually made a statement about that. Very emotional statement if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Very, I gotta say emotional when it comes to the passing. But looking at Episode 9, guys, I couldn't be more excited to see what JJ has in store for us, the fans, depending on, of course, if JJ was actually offered some help by George Lucas for a scene or two. I think that instantaneously, right, we're going to notice that. We're going to see which scenes George Lucas actually lended a hand in for episode 9. I'm sure that we're going to hear more about this as we go through principal photography. A couple of months ago, it was a big story. A lot of people were talking about this, and I would really love to hear your opinion on it all, on if George Lucas is indeed involved in episode 9. Is it just a move by Disney in order to gain the trust by the fans, or do you guys think that it's really a, I guess you could say, genuine, thing by Disney, telling the fans here and there, in the future at least, maybe they will make it, an open message to fans that George actually had a hand in this film. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.